Hello friends, this video on ray optics part 6 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 5 before going ahead with part 6. Let us look at the image formation by spherical mirrors now. So till now we looked at what is a spherical mirror, what are the different terms related to spherical mirror. So now I think it is a good time to start with how will an image be formed when an object is placed in front of a spherical mirror. So this is a very general statement which tells you how an image is formed. It says that rays originating from a point actually meet at another point after reflection. That point is the image of the first point. That means whenever you have an object, some rays will be incident from the object on the mirror. So those rays will get reflected when it falls on the mirror, and these reflected rays will then meet at a point. That is the point where image will be formed, right? Now there are two ways, or there are two options by which an image can be formed. The first option is that the reflected rays actually meet at a point. That means incident rays fall on the mirror, they get reflected, and then those reflected rays actually meet at a point. In that case, the image formed is a real image because the reflected rays actually meet or really meet at a point. So we say that the image is real. The second option is the reflected rays do not actually meet at a point. They appear to meet at a point. So in that case, we say that since the rays are not really meeting, so we say that the image formed is a virtual image. So these are the two categories of image which we will obtain when an object is placed in front of a spherical mirror. Real image when the reflected rays actually meet at a point. Virtual image when the reflected rays appear to meet at a point. So we will study this in detail as we go ahead, and we study about the image formation for concave mirror separately and convex mirror separately. Things will become clearer to you at that time. So in this case, here let us look at some of the very general examples. Here you see this boy is standing in front of a plane mirror, the mirror which you normally have in your dressing tables at your home. So when you stand in front of the mirror, you can see your image. So the image which you see, that is basically a virtual image, right? Where the rays of light appear to meet and you can see an image of yours. So the virtual image is generally an erect image. That means it is straight. I mean, the way you are, your image is in the same way. In case of now, instead of the plane mirror, if you have a convex mirror, then what happens? Here also you get a virtual image, because in convex mirror, I told you, right? You saw in the previous slide that when a ray which is parallel to the principal axis falls on the convex mirror, it gets diverged and it looks like as if it is meeting at a point, that is the principal focus. So in this case, the reflected rays does not actually meet at a point. They appear to meet at a point. So we get a virtual image. So in convex mirror, this is how we get an image. Now in case of a concave mirror, here also if you see, you are getting a virtual image. Actually, concave mirror is the one where you can get a virtual image as well as a real image depending upon the location of the object. If your object is very close to the mirror, in this case, the boy is standing very close to the concave mirror. So in this case, the image which is formed is a virtual image. Now you might ask, why is it so? In convex mirror, you are always getting a virtual image. But why in concave mirror, if you are standing near, you get a virtual image. If you go far, you get a real image. You will understand this better when I go ahead and I show you the ray diagrams for each different location of the object in case of a concave mirror. So you will see that for a concave mirror, if the object is too close to the mirror, the image formed is a virtual image. Whereas if the object is located little far from the mirror, so in this case, this is your object, this boy was your object, and in this case, a real image is formed, but the image is inverted, right? And in this case, the image is formed on the same side of as the object, right? So right now you might be thinking why these different kinds of images are getting formed with different mirrors, which you will understand in the next few slides. But for now, I want you to understand two things. The first is that how is an image formed? An image is formed at the point where the reflected rays meet or appear to meet. And the second thing which I want you to remember is that if the reflected rays actually meet, a real image is formed. And if the reflected rays appear to meet, then a virtual image is formed. Now we will go through few rules which we should always follow when we are trying to understand the image formation by a spherical mirror. Right? So we will look at each of those rules. So let us look at the rule number 1. The first rule says that whenever a ray of light is incident on the mirror parallel to the principal axis, it passes through the principal focus. That means if a ray of light is incident on the mirror parallel to the principal axis. So here this is the principal axis, right? So let us suppose there is a ray of light which is incident on the mirror parallel to the principal axis. So it will bounce back, and after reflection what will happen? It will pass through the principal focus. That means after reflection it will pass through this focus. So this is the first rule. It says that a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection will pass through the principal focus. And this is true for both the types of mirror, concave as well as convex. So this is a concave mirror. I think you are no more confused with which is a concave mirror and which is a convex. I am reminding you once again, concave. Cave means inside. That means the inside surface is silvered. So this is my inside surface which is silvered. Now in convex mirror again, let us suppose there is a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis and is incident on the mirror. So what will happen? It will get diverged, right? But if you extrapolate it, it will appear to pass through the principal focus, right? So this is my first rule. So let us look at rule number 2. So rule number 2 states that a ray of light which passes through the principal focus towards the spherical mirror after reflection is reflected parallel to the principal axis. So if you look at it, this is just the opposite of rule number 1. It says that if there is a ray of light which is, while it is incident on the mirror, it passes through the principal focus. That means you have a ray of light which passes through the principal focus and then falls on the mirror. It says that it passes through the principal focus towards the spherical mirror. So this is my incident ray. Now as it falls on the mirror, it will undergo reflection, and after reflection it is reflected parallel to the principal axis. So after reflection it goes parallel to the principal axis. Correct? So the same should be true for a convex mirror also. Let us suppose you have a ray of light which falls on the mirror such that it is virtually passing through the principal focus, because in case of a convex mirror, the principal focus itself is a virtual focus, right? Here the principal focus is a real principal focus. So now this ray of light after reflection will go parallel to the principal axis, somewhat like this. Now let us look at rule number 3. It says that a ray of light which passes through the center of curvature of a spherical mirror after reflection retraces the same path. That is, it goes back along the same path. That means if you have a ray of light which passes through the center of curvature, for example, let us suppose there is a ray of light which passes through the center of curvature, somewhat like this. So this is my ray of light which passes through center of curvature. So it strikes the mirror and after reflection it goes back along the same path. Correct? So here also the same thing will happen. Let us suppose we have a ray of light which is virtually passing through the center of curvature. Now after reflection, as it strikes the mirror, after reflection it will go back along the same path. So wherever we are drawing this dotted line, that means this ray of light is virtual. The actual ray of light is coming here and then going back from here. But virtually it is as if it is passing through the center of curvature. Right? Now let us look at the rule number 4, which says that a ray of light which is incident towards the pole of the spherical mirror obliquely to the principal axis is reflected obliquely. That means we have a ray of light which is incident on the mirror towards the pole obliquely. Obliquely means it is making some angle. So when this ray of light falls on the spherical mirror obliquely towards the pole, then after reflection it gets reflected back again obliquely from the pole. So this is my angle of incidence and this is my angle of reflection. So these two angles are equal, as we know from law of reflection, right? So similarly in this case also, for convex mirror also the same thing happens. If a ray of light falls obliquely to pole, after reflection again it gets reflected back obliquely, right? So these are the 4 important rules which you should always keep in your mind before we go ahead with image formation by a spherical mirror, right? Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.